What is anti-defection law and what does the constitution say about this? The phrase Ayaram and Gayaram became so popular in Indian politics after Haryana MLA Gayalal changed his party 2 times within a few hours and thrice within a fortnight in 1967. The anti-defection law, as enshrined in the 10th schedule of the Constitution of India, was inserted in the Constitution in 1985 to prevent such political defections. Anti-defection law was framed to stop shifting party allegiances for political, personal and other interests and gains. It was added in the Constitution to promote stability in the government and encourage loyalty as well as discipline within the party. This 52nd Amendment in the Constitution lays down 2 situations for disqualification of members on the ground of defection. In the first case, if an MP or MLA has voluntarily given up his membership of such political party as per clause 2(1)(a), and secondly, if he or she votes or abstains from voting in the House contrary to any direction issued by his party, that is, if he violates the party whip in the House as per clause 2(1)(b). It simply means that a legislator is deemed to have defected if he or she either voluntarily gives up the membership of his or her party or disobeys the directives of the party leadership on a vote. The law applies to both the Parliament and the state assemblies. Are there any exceptions under the law? Yes. Legislators may change their party without the risk of disqualification in certain situations. The 10th schedule says and allows a party to merge with another party, but only with at least 2/3 of its legislators in favor of the merger. In such a scenario where 2/3 of members move from one party to other political party, then neither of the members who decide to merge nor the ones who stay with the original party will face disqualification. So what's the problem with the law? Experts say that the phrase voluntarily giving up membership of the political party has not been clearly defined under this law. The phrase has wider connotation than resignation and is open to interpretation. This term is susceptible to interpretation because voluntarily giving up the membership is not the same as resigning from a party. Then what exactly it means? In 1994 judgment, the Supreme Court had held that voluntarily giving up membership does not necessarily mean that the legislator needs to formally resign. The court had said that this can be inferred from the member's conduct. The court had also said even in the absence of a formal resignation from the membership, an inference can be drawn from the conduct of a member that he has voluntarily given up his membership of the political party to which he belongs. The Supreme Court has made this point crystal clear by saying that the presiding officer or the Speaker of the House, who acts as a tribunal, has to draw a reasonable inference from the conduct and behavior of the legislator. The cases like politicians engaging in anti-party activities, which include criticizing the party on public forums on multiple occasions, not behaving on the party lines, and attending rallies organized and conducted by opposition parties, can fall under the ambit. Is the decision of the presiding officer or speaker subject to judicial review? Under the original anti-defection law, the speaker or the presiding officer was supreme when it came to deciding on defection, and his decisions were not subject to judicial review. In 1992, the Supreme Court used the basic structure doctrine to strike down this by making the speaker's decision on defection subject to judicial review. However, the court has held that there may not be any judicial intervention until the presiding officer gives his order. Is there a time limit within which the presiding officer has to decide? No, the law does not specify a time period for the presiding officer to decide on a disqualification plea. The petitioner seeking disqualification has no option but to wait for this decision to be made. Does the anti-defection law affect the ability of legislators to make decisions? The anti-defection law aims to promote stability and discipline in the party and government. However, this law also restricts the legislator from voting in line with his conscience, judgment and interests of his electorate and constituency. In such situation, the legislator has to follow the party lines and decisions rather than what their constituents would like the legislator to do. What has Pilate alleged in the court? Sachin Pilot and the MLAs have challenged the first ground under clause 21A in the Rajasthan High Court, asserting that the provision cannot be so widely interpreted that the fundamental freedom of speech and expression of a member of the House is jeopardized. The petition from Sachin Pilot's side had said that mere expression of dissatisfaction or even disillusionment against the party leadership cannot be treated to be conduct falling within the clause 21A of the 10th schedule of the Constitution of India. They have challenged a rule that allows the Speaker to disqualify members if they have voluntarily given up the party's membership. They basically are saying that they do not intend to quit the Congress party and they only want a change in the leadership. Basically, the question that arises here is whether mere disagreement with the party leadership and party lines can be called as defection or not. Here it is also a matter of freedom of speech and expression under Article 19(1)(a) of the Indian Constitution. The Apex Court heard the case earlier and wondered if the notices issued to the rebel Congress MLAs by the Speaker would amount to shutting out dissenting voices. The Rajasthan High Court has agreed to test whether disqualification of an MLA for dissent against the party violates the Constitution's basic structure and fundamental right to free speech, among other issues raised by rebel MLAs in Rajasthan's case. So the bigger question on the law is, will dissenting and disagreeing within the party amount to defection?